good of tools. There are good tools out there, like Appium, for instance, for mobile platforms, but they're not as stable as we would like them to be. What we found is that if we create our own test APIs defined by test automators, we can make the developers to implement them for us, and thus we will get more scalability when it comes to test automation, and have the test automators to focus on the actual test automation problem and not so much about testability towards the system under test. Let the developers who work with the system under test to do that instead. And that has been very successful for us, and I will give you an example of that. Now, this is a typical example for both the Android and the iOS platform for us. This is how it used to look. We had some sort of a test interface, and we communicated with our clients using New Remote, which is an open source project, or Bean Shell on the client side, and we sent a couple of strings back and forth. Those strings were produced and written by the test automators. Not knowing everything about the client, we would get a lot of runtime errors, and the quality that we got from that was not very good, and we spent a lot of time writing that not very good quality also. Now, what we did was that we defined these interfaces instead and had the developers to implement them for us. It's pretty much like we having our developers writing our own web drivers for us on the mobile platforms, and that has proven very, very successful for us. Now we will get compile time errors instead of runtime errors, and the test developers, test automators, can spend more time and making the tests more robust, and then focusing on code within the client that they're not master. And one other thing here is that the test automation that we're doing is written in Java, and our system under tests are written in different languages, and it doesn't really scale if we want our developers to write tests or helping us writing tests if they have to write it in Java. They might be C++ programmers, and they have difficulties in switching to Java, believe it or not. So it's much easier for us to make them write testability code within the client instead, their own native language. Now, this is how it could look before. This is a string that will enable the test to put the position of the throb or the little, the thing in the progress bar on the right position. And afterwards, this test interface being implemented, the code that the test automator has to write is only this. Now, the developer on the client side has implemented some sort of native code that will actually implement this seek track and put that on a specific position.